This video will be brief. We're going to build off of the shipping lab that we just did. If you don't have the shipping lab done, don't watch this video until you go back and do that. Let's assume, however, that you have it. So if you've done the shipping lab, then continue. If you haven't done the shipping lab, then go back and review. So here is the shipping lab that we just did. I want to do something called nesting. Now let me show you very quickly what we're talking about when we're looking at nesting. This is where the nesting is going to be. Let's show the formula. And as you can see, some of this should look familiar to you. We did this in the last lab, right? If subtotal is greater than or equal to $150, then zero charge. This is the nesting part right here. What we're saying on this one is that, look, we're not going to charge you necessarily 10% for everything. We're going to charge you either 5% or 10% depending on how much you order. With a nesting of if, you can nest ifs within ifs. In fact, you can do a whole lot of different nesting. It does get a little complicated, so you probably want to write this out first before you start playing with it in Excel. What we're doing here is we're saying if C2 subtotal is equal to 150, then zero charge for shipping. We did that. If we're nesting an if here, notice the parentheses. Here's another statement. If C2 is equal to or greater than $100, if this is true, then we're charging a 5% shipping charge on the subtotal. If it's false, then it's 10% on the subtotal. Notice we have 1, 2 parentheses here. We have to close it with 1, 2 parentheses there. So we create the nested ifs within those parentheses. And again, we could create much more nesting if we so choose. You do not need to do this for the exam. I'm just showing it so you recognize if you see something like this, this is a nested if. I would, however, suggest that before you move on, you really get down just the general if statements. Play with the general ifs before you even start playing around with the nested ifs.